Hey friends, welcome to the 35th? 35th or 36th. I should stop saying numbers because I can't remember. Welcome to the next episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. I hope you guys had a good week. My week has been really good. I am on break now. Made it. I work one day in the next 2 weeks. I'm very excited about it. I'm just ready to relax and sleep in and do all the knitting, run 48.6 miles. But yeah, I'm ready for the new year. I'm looking forward to it. This week was interesting. So I'm not generally somebody who loves reading. I used to be, but then school kind of killed that. Oh gosh. Okay. So the sun is deciding if it wants to come out or not. It's very cloudy, but when the sun does come out, it is blinding. And I've tried lowering the blinds, but we're going to contend with some sunlight issues today. Oh well. Anyway, so not a huge reader, but when I do read, it is addictive, can't put it down, stay up till midnight, finish reading, kind of reading. That happened to me last week. So I guess my genre that I've read in the past that I like the most is mystery, or murder mysteries. But none of those have really sounded all that good to me lately. The genre I would never have told someone was my genre is fantasy romance. When I've heard people reading these fantasy books, I immediately just tune out. I am not interested. But months ago, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I had to chuckle because I felt like the first half of the book was just straight up Beauty and the Beast fan fiction. But it changed in the second half, and it was really good, and I enjoyed that book. I read it very quickly, but then I started the second book, I didn't like it, and so I just kind of stopped. But I've seen so many people lately who've read Fourth Wing and loved it. And so I decided to give it a go. And I think I read Fourth Wing in 4 days total, maybe less. I basically spent a weekend reading Fourth Wing. And it was so good. It was so good. And I knew there were only 2 books out. And I knew that there was I was going to regret reading the second book because I was going to want to read the third book that's not out yet. But I did it. I read the second book in days. It was ridiculous. But I still did other things. I just spent a lot of time reading. And then as I finished that book, the Iron Flame, I was starting to wonder what happened in A Court of Thorns and Roses in book 2. So I went back and read book 1 again. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a very long name. Loved it. Forgot how much I loved it. Read the whole book in 2 days. I think I spent I basically wake up in the morning. I wake up very early. I like to have a long time to get ready in the morning. So I can actually get ready in 10 minutes or less, honestly. But I get up 2 hours before I need to leave. So I have a lot of free time, which I usually use for knitting. I would get up and read until I had to get ready for work. And then when I get home from work, I would immediately start reading, and I'd read until bedtime. And then I'd wake up the next morning, and it was just if I didn't have to be somewhere and I didn't have to be doing something, I was reading. Which is not great for knitting, especially when you have a test knit. So I read the second book. I don't remember. Is it Court of Mist and Fury? That sounds right. I don't know. I read the second book in record time. Like, made it through it so fast. And then told myself, I also have to say, so the difference between the writers, so Rebecca Yarros, I feel like her books are almost a little cruel. Like, she doesn't shy away from, like, the bad ending or, like, the cruel ending. Like, people die in her books. Like, you're not guaranteed that these characters are going to make it just because they're the good guys. Like, they might die, or something horrible might happen to them. Whereas Sarah J. Maas, I feel like she's a little nicer. So I'm not, like, as anxious reading these books. But I'm not going to spoil anything, but when I got to the end of the second book, I honestly thought it was going to go in a really, really bad way. And I was getting angry. I was like, I have just invested so much of my time into this book and you're going to give it a horrible ending. And then it isn't. And it was just like, oh, it was so good. And honestly, it took all of my willpower not to just buy the second or third book and start reading it immediately. But I didn't, because I have to get some knits done. And I knew if I started the third book, especially going into a break, I was just going to spend my entire break reading the entire A Court of Thorns and Roses series. And I might still do that, but I have a test knit that I realistically need to get done this week. And so, because I will be on vacation, I will be out of town in January. And so I forced myself I'm rereading the second book, which is going slower because I already know what happens and I'm not as, like, have to read it right now. But as soon as I'm done with this test knit, I will probably start book 3. I don't know though, I'm at this point now where the craze has kind of died away and I'm a little bit afraid. I'm a little afraid of that version of Chelsea, to be honest, because she just doesn't, like, nothing else is important except for that book, and that's just slightly terrifying. But yeah, I was gonna say something else about it. Oh, I get really into books. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but, like, I was losing sleep while I was reading Fourth Wing because I was genuinely worried about a dragon. And it's like, if you ever watch the Great British Baking Show or Great British Bake Off and people are crying and then they're laughing because they're like, it's cake, why am I crying? That's what I felt like. I felt like a crazy person because I was like, it's a fictional dragon. Why am I losing sleep over the outcome for a fictional dragon? So I think a little space is good for me right now. But all this to say, I did very little knitting this last week. And I actually was, like, kind of debating not even filming today. But then I thought, I have plans. I have a plan for Betwixtmas. It's different than what I've done in the past, which is slightly annoying to me, but I think it'll be good. So Betwixtmas is the week between Christmas and New Year's. I have traditionally, for 2 years, I guess 2 years makes a tradition, I have tried to knit a sweater from, like, cast on New Year's Eve and finish it by New Year's Day. I'm not doing that this year because I have a test knit and I'm almost done with it, but I didn't really want to cast on a new sweater as soon as I finished one. And also because I figure I'm going to be reading too. So I have 6 whips and 1 spinning whip. I guess that's a whip too. That I'm going to try to finish during Betwixtmas. That's a big goal. It's not going to happen, but I'm going to try to make it happen. So, let's see, I finished that book. When did I finish that book? Friday night? Yeah. No. Thursday night. I finished it Thursday night. And Yeah, I think that's right. Thursday or Wednesday night, honestly. I think it was Wednesday night. This is the problem. I get caught up in it and I can't even keep my days straight. I have been knitting as much as I can since then. I feel like my brain is all over the place. I felt like that sentence was going somewhere else and my brain just hijacked it and went whatever it wanted to go. But yeah, I'm looking at all my whips. So I have a test knit. I am almost done with it. And as soon as I finish it, I will start working on the others. And it's going to feel so good to like clear the plate or clear my plate. I still have other whips that I'm not working on right now. They're in timeout or they're on hold. But yeah, I think I'm going to try. I think 2 of these are ridiculous goals, but I think the others are totally doable. So that's what I'm going to try to do during my break. Yeah, and see how many finished objects I can get in the beginning of January. But, and you can also see I depilled and folded all my sweaters. Pretty proud of that. I did that this morning. That's what happens when you're not held hostage by a book. But so let's talk about what I'm wearing. I don't think I've worn this one on the podcast before. I might have, I don't know. So this is the Faceted Yoke Pullover by PurlSoho. I believe it's a free pattern. I am almost certain that I knit this in Madeline Tosh work sock. And I think the colorway is Kawaii. See if it'll focus, get my face out of the way. There we go. So back in the day, before Madeline Tosh was bought by Jimmy Bean's Wool, their work sock base was a steal. I always questioned why they weren't charging more for this base. It's not sock, it was really more DK. So it's a superwash. I think it's a DK nylon. I think I still have one. Yeah. It is 75% merino, 25% nylon, sport weight, but it's 400 yards. And what's the grams? Oh, I'll tell you how many grams. Yeah. Yeah, it's DK. So this is how it would come. Like, so you get 400 grams, and they call it sport. It's DK. It's definitely DK. So you get 400 grams of DK weight yarn for 16 bucks. That's how much it used to be. And it was my favorite base from them because it's squishy, but it's really round. This is the color Tenenbaum, which was one of my favorites. I think Kawaii was my first favorite and Tenenbaum was my second favorite. And once Jimmy Bean bought them, I think it probably was like, why are we underselling this yarn? So it's now, I think it comes, I don't know if it still comes in that big of a size, but it's definitely costs more, that's reasonable. That when it was 16 bucks, that was literally a steal. But yeah, so I knit this whole sweater out of that. I bet this sweater cost me less than 15 or 50 bucks. It might have cost me more, maybe more than that. I don't know. Math is not my strength. But I love it. This is so yeah, so I think it's a free pattern. One thing about this that doesn't bother me that much, but it usually does, is this is the exact same front and back. There's no short rows. So the other thing I kind of don't love is how this bottom or this middle panel kind of tends to squish in. I would like it to stay out, but whatever. I think this was also the first time I did a tubular cast off. I knit this, I think I knit this in 2019 or 2018, but I wore it, my birthday's in February, and I wore this for my birthday. I think the first time I wore it was for my birthday, and I took a trip to Quebec City for their carnival, which I actually missed most of. It's 2 weeks, but I guess like all the fun happens in week 1 and I went in week 2. I stayed at the big Hotel Frontenac there, which is amazing. I loved it so much, but they had some insane snow. My flight got canceled on the way home because there was a blizzard. And like, for Canada to cancel a flight because of a blizzard, like it's legit. And as a southerner, I was like, oh crap, that's a lot of snow. I was like super prepared for that trip. I had at least one knit sweater. I think I had 2 knit sweaters. I had knit hats, I had knit socks, I had snow pants, I had snow boots, I had a parka. Like, I was prepared. I think I even had like insulated gloves. Yeah, I was very prepared. But there was one day, I think it was actually on my birthday, I went out and walked, I think they call it the Plains of Abraham, but it was just a full-on blanket of snow, and I had it to myself. There was no one else out there. And I remember I actually got a little warm, and I had this sweater on, and that's like the memory that comes back every time I put the sweater on, is walking around a huge snowy park in Quebec City on my birthday. So I love this sweater. It's super comfy. This yarn is like next to skin soft. It is kind of a heavier sweater. I think the ball band up there didn't say it was superwash, but I think it's superwash. It acts like a superwash. But yeah, I love this sweater. Highly recommend it. Okay. Let's talk about my test knit. So I have one other whip that I worked on. So I worked on 2 whips this week, mostly yesterday and today. But the second whip is my Advent sock from Mullins and Nash, and I am ahead because I did it wrong. So I'm not going to show those until they're done, until after Christmas, so I don't spoil anybody's surprise. But so this morning I finished the second sleeve on my test knit for Samantha Guerin. This is the Lagom sweater. So, yep, just did it. I did a tubular, or did an Italian sewn bind off, which I love. I am not a big fan of the Kitchener stitch tubular bind off just because it's fiddly. But yeah, so both sleeves are done, and I just have a few more inches on the body, and then I am done. I haven't blocked this yet, and I really need to. Oh, I haven't woven in this end, and I was looking at it and it was like, it was gaping and I was getting a little worried. But so I haven't blocked this yet, and I'm really interested to see how it lays once I block it, because right now what's happening is this is bunching up when I wear it. So it kind of almost does like that when I wear it, and I don't love that. Everything else about it I like the fit of. The fabric is nuts. Like, look at that halo. Oh, I don't think it's gonna show you that halo with my face in the picture. There we go. You can kind of see it out here. So, and I've talked about this before, but I'm using not PurlSoho. I'm using Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the powder colorway, and then I'm holding double compatible cashmere in the same color. And it is a cloud. It is so soft. It is actually fairly heavy. That's surprising to me, but this thing is almost as heavy as this. And I think it's just that cashmere because I'm double stranding it, and it's just a lot of fabric. But yeah, I'll also be interested to see how this blocks out because of the mohair, because of the silk content. It's not going to stretch and grow as much. So I'll be interested to see how that plays with the cashmere and how much growth I get with this. I did swatch, but I don't trust swatches. Like, even if you do a good size swatch, it's just never gonna replicate the weight of a sweater. So we'll see. But yeah, my goal is to finish that, or this, by Christmas. I think I've got like 1 more inch of body knitting, and then I think it's 2 inches of ribbing, but I'll have to double check. So I just need to get a good movie marathon going. So today's Saturday when I'm filming this, so I have all day Saturday. I'm not going anywhere near a grocery store today or tomorrow. I went to Whole Foods yesterday. Oh, it was terrible. I swear, since Amazon took over Whole Foods, it has gone downhill. I stood in line for like 30 minutes waiting to check out yesterday, and I was buying like 10 things. But it was like 10 things I can only get there. So anyway, I digress. I'm not going anywhere near a grocery store. I don't have any errands to run. I am staying put until Wednesday. But so I have all day today to do it, and then my parents get in Sunday some point, I don't know when. And we're actually doing our my immediate family's Christmas on Christmas Eve. So I won't have loads of time for knitting tomorrow. I'll have time, but I won't have like as much as I have today. And then the day after Christmas, which we don't use this term in the US, but I love it, so I call it Boxing Day. So on Boxing Day, I am doing nothing. Nothing. I'm not leaving my house. I'm not getting out of my pajamas. I'm not doing any work. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. But I would like to be done with this by then. So I would like to be getting on to other things. So we'll see. And yeah, my parents will leave after Christmas. And so then I'll have, because I use the bed, this guest room bed, as where I put my blocking mats. So I would like, by the time that they leave, to be able to block this and see how that turns out. But yeah, that is all I've been working on today. This week. I just literally, before filming, I did like 5 rows on my advent sock, and that's all I've done. I mean, I did finish 2 whole sleeves. I feel like that's pretty good for 2 days. But yeah, that's it. So, okay. Now the whip parade. So these are all the things I would like to accomplish in the next week. Wish me luck. Let's see. So, and it just got super cloudy. It's supposed to rain all evening and all day tomorrow, which I'm here for. We're in the 60s right now, which is just, actually, it's not really that unusual. Oklahoma is a little bipolar in the winter, early winter, sorry. The downside to that soft silk mohair is it gets in my eyelashes. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, so our weather, it's not unusual for us to be this warm in December. We'll see. We usually get, our coldest is like February. So sorry, this is really driving me crazy. I'm gonna try to ignore it. But yeah, hopefully I got my run in this morning, so I don't have to worry about running in the rain. Anyway, so the first thing I think I'm gonna tackle is fixing some sleeves. So I've shown this a bajillion times. This is my Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. This is when I knit in Lamb and Kid Todd, and you can see where I added new skeins. I tried really hard to make this not color block, but it is, and that's fine. We're just gonna move on. But this is where I learned the lesson that Todd grows like crazy. This was actually Todd DK. This fit perfect before I blocked it, and now it's very oversized. But what really bothered me was the sleeves, because the sleeves were a solid 3 to 4 inches too long, and I did not want to have to roll up sleeves on a sweater I custom knit for myself. So ages ago, I tried to cut off, I like picked up stitches, picked up around the cuff, snipped in the middle, unwound it, tried to Kitchener, it didn't work. I think I just had my stitches twisted on one of my needles. I think that was my problem. That's what I'm hoping was my problem. But I couldn't unwind it. It had felted by the time I tried to unwind it. So I have an extra skein of this. So essentially, I just need to knit a cuff. Now it is a long cuff. It's a solid 3-inch cuff, but I need to actually go back to, oh, it's twisted rib. I actually don't hate twisted rib, but it does take a little bit more attention. Is it twisted rib? That's not twisted, that's regular rib. It's just blocked so it looks extra sharp. I'm going to try really hard to figure out my Kitchener on this one. So I really, 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 really do not want to have to knit another cuff. I would much rather just Kitchener this and be done with it. So, oh, and you can even see where you can see where I changed skeins. So maybe I could just do that. But yeah, this is my first one because I think I will be done with this in less than a day. Like this will be a few hours worth and then I will have an FO. And I'm not going to block the whole thing, but I might dunk these and just block the sleeves. So, and then I'll have a whole new sweater. Whole new sweater. Just got to get around to doing it. So, and then I have, I can't show you guys this, but I have a test knit that I did that won't come out till next year. It's secret. I can't show you anything. But it's one that also grew when I blocked it, and it's like unwearably long sleeves. Everything else fits great. Sleeves are way too long. But that one, the ribbing was really short on it, and it was a bigger needle, so I think that will take me, like I could get both of those done in one day. And I'm allowed to wear it, I'm just not allowed to show pictures of it, and it's real cute. I'm real excited for this sweater to come out. But I think that will be job number 1 of Betwixtmas, is get those sleeves done. Because then I will have 2 new sweaters, and it, like in a day. Like who gets 2 FOs in a day? That'd be awesome. So that's the first one. The second one, or I guess this is the third. This isn't my oldest whip, but this is an old whip. And it's frustrating that it's even on a, oh dang, okay. I took the needles out of it. I think I probably was just knitting to pattern, but so this is the Auntie Cowl, which was a pattern by, or is a pattern by Candice English, I believe. Look how pretty that is. So it is a color work in the round circular cowl. So you do a provisional cast on, knit in the round. Oh dears. Ooh, man. I got quite, oh shoot. Why did I put this on a sleeve thingy? I put this on a sleeve stitch holder. I mean, I guess it works, but like, okay. Oh, I just realized I put little stitch markers in between the motifs. How considerate of me. So this is, I think you just do 3 repeats of the pattern. I don't think I'm all the way through it. Yeah, I still have one more motif and then I'm done with the first repeat of 3. So I gotta do 3 times this, but it's not a huge project and it's really nice yarn. So it uses, let's see, I don't think it's labeled. Yeah, this isn't labeled. This was a kit I got from the Farmer's Daughter Fiber. So this is, I think this was like a yak base. So this is my main color, which is this beautiful, that is blowing it out. It's darker. So it's like this plummy purple and I love it. And I think it's yak. It's DK weight. It's so soft. Love it, love it, love it. Then my contrast color is Spin Cycle, dyed in the wool, and it is Good Omen. So I had 2 of these. I think I had 3 of the purple, and then you have like one, I'm trying to find it. This is a really dark bag for this all to be in, but it kind of matches, so I like it. And then you had like one really dark accent in there, and so this, I have no idea what this is. I think it might be the same yak base, but it's this dark navy. So I was doing 2-handed color work for this, and I think that's why I kind of stalled out on it, because I think I knit 2-handed color work much faster. I do not enjoy it. It is just way too much thinking for my brain. And so I think I will actually do this much faster if I just go back to my knit one, drop it, knit one, drop it, knit one, drop it. So it does take longer, but I think I'll just enjoy it more. So yeah, that's, I would like to finish this because it is so soft. And this is going to be amazingly comfy. And it's just been on my needles for too long. I want to say this has been on my needles for at least a year, maybe longer. And it's in one of my old school Fringe Supply bags. It's a wax canvas, which, to be honest, really just makes it feel like it's always wet. I don't know if I have any other goodies in here. Sometimes I stash things in the pockets, and then I find them later, and I'm like, why did I have that in there? Let's see what other, nah, no goodies. Okay, yeah, it just, yeah, I don't like the texture of this. It's just, wax canvas is not my thing, but, okay. The second scarf, cowl, neck accessory I would like to finish is my Gallus. Let's see, where am I? So I am, shoot, where am I? Oh, I finished the third one. Okay, I was like, why are my ends cut? I had finished my third stripe, so I'm just ready for my fourth stripe. I think there's at least 5 stripes in this, but there might be more. I will probably do more because if this is the halfway point, I would like it to be longer. So there'll probably need to be 6 stripes in this, which is fine. I have plenty of yarn. I'm knitting this out of Sandra Yarn Sunday Morning 4-ply, and this is the Sunday Kind of Love, which is this beautiful pinky raspberry. And then my other one is Daylights by Harrisville. Is that right? Harrisville Designs. Yeah, I almost said Harrisville Tweed. Harrisville Designs. So this is Chirp, which this is the counterpart to Nightshades. It's Daylights. I don't ask me what the undertone on this one is. I cannot see it until they're right next to each other. So these, I love these colors together. There's something funky that happened to these skeins in my stash, and they smell like crayons, but not in a good way. They smell awful. And so I just want to get it done so I can wash it and get this nasty smell off of it. But that's one of my other goals. And this is easy. This is easy knitting. It's so fun. I love it. It is in my Fat Squirrel bag. This was like a Deadly Plants fabric, I think. So I don't know. I know the Bleeding Heart there. I don't know what these are. That looks like milkweed to me, but I don't think that's deadly. It's probably a good thing that I'm not having to forage to, you know, survive. Anyway, I love this bag. I also just love that it, I don't know, you've got like the pink and the purple, and then you got the pinky purple. Apparently I like to match my knits to my bags. But that is another thing I would like to finish. This one I showed last week. This is in my favorite Fat Squirrel bag, which is the library bag. And this is my blanket with my yarn from Moonglow Fibers, Moonglow Yarns. And this is like a candy cane lane kind of thing. So you got this one next, and then this one, and then this one. So this is size 6 needle, 160 stitches, I think. And it's just garter. It's easy, another easy one. I think this is one, like, this is not an engaging knit for me because the color changes are spaced out enough that it's almost a little demotivating to think about how long you have till the next color change. So for that kind of a knit, I need a really good movie, or slightly ashamed to admit this, but the thing that makes me knit the best is a documentary on a cult. I do not wish anyone to be in a cult. I wish anybody who's in a cult could get out of it and get help. I really love documentaries about them. I actually just watched the Twin Peaks one. I didn't love that one. That one was just sad to me. Yeah. And the thing is, like, once you watch it, it's one of those that's not interesting to go back and watch because all the shock of it is the first watching. But if anyone has any good Netflix or Prime recommendations, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe I just like, I gotta get in the zone. It's gotta be something so interesting that takes my mind off the knitting. Which sounds bad, but that's the only way I'm gonna power through the next 3 stripes. Okay, so those are the like non-garment whips that I would like to finish. The next thing, I'll talk about this one next, and this is in a Tanny Casey bag. And it does not match the bag in the least. I love this. It's like a bucket bag with handles. I bought this at Cake Palooza last year. I really like this fabric. But yeah, it doesn't at all match the sweater inside of it. So this is, now here's where it's going to get confusing because the next 2 whips are sweaters. One of them is the Petite Knitter sweater, and one of them is a Petite Knit sweater. So fun. So this is the Mudo pullover by the Petite Knitter. And I love it. So this is a colorwork yoke. It's a circular yoke, and I am in a very un-Chelsea way knitting this in mohair, lots and lots of mohair. So these are yarns that I had in my stash, and I just kind of was like one day looking at them and I was like, yep. Oh, y'all, I hope I will cut out if any of that sound just transferred into the video, I will cut it out. I just got, it's a Casey alert, which I guess are like the new version of Amber alerts. I've gotten 2 in the last 3 days. But it makes my phone and my watch both go crazy loud alarm, and I screamed. So y'all don't need to see that. Anyway, so these were yarns that were in my stash, and I was looking at them one day and just decided, yep, they go. So this is some Jamieson & Smith 4-ply jumper weight on a cone in this really pretty lavender color. They do numbered colors, so there's no name. And then this is Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the unicorn purple. So I actually just realized this like cone perfectly sits, you can't see it, but it perfectly sits on the like frame of this bed. It's great. So this is my main color, holding these together. This is a fingering weight. It's fairly rustic, but not bad. Not as bad as I thought it'd be. I take that back. It's pretty rustic, but it hasn't been washed. So I'm holding these together. Actually, I have my swatch in here. So this was a 2-parter. So this was it held double, the Jamieson & Smith, and this was single plied with mohair. And so this is very soft. This is pretty stiff. I still think I would like that, but probably not at that gauge. I'd probably want it a little looser. I don't know if you can see the difference in the colors too. It just gets a little lighter. So that's my main color. And then my contrast color, I don't have my ball bands with me. Okay, let's see if I can remember this. So I'm not gonna remember the color name of this one. This was a onion sock yarn, and it's like nettle sock, I think. And I have 2 balls of this because the color work is only at the top, and I think there's like 5 lines of it, so that's it. And then I'm holding it with Feather by Magpie Fibers, and this is the Magpie colorway. So those 2 together. Now, this isn't my favorite mohair. I find this mohair to be a little on the scratchy side, so I am slightly concerned about the fact that I'm doing it right here. So this is probably going to be a sweater I have to wear with something underneath it. But I really like these colors together. I think they're fun and unusual together. And I finished the first color work repeat, and I'm just starting, I think I'm like I'm 2 rows into the second repeat, 3 rows. I just started the 3rd row. And it's not a hard pattern. It has like basically it's arrows going one way, then back, then that and that and that. So it's not hard. It's actually a pretty relaxing knit. And then once I get done with that, it's just stockinette. So that will be pretty easy. But so that's one of them I would like to finish. I wonder if I'm gonna end up with mohair in my eyelashes again. But I like how this fits. I think that's pretty. So, okay. That is the first one. And I think these 2 projects will actually be good. Or these 2 sweaters I'm working on, or planning to work on, will be good opposites. So this is my 3rd Monday sweater by PetiteKnit. And it is tangled as heck. Okay. So this did not get, I'm still in the raglan increases on this. I don't even know which way is right in front. Okay. So that's how far I've made it on this one. And I am using, for this, I'm using Hillesvåg Tinda. I couldn't remember what name it was. This is yarn that a friend brought back for me from Norway. It is in, I'm not going to, Blagra is the colorway. I probably mispronounced that, but it's like blue-gray. That's the way, that's what that means. And I have plenty of it. I'm still on my first ball, but I mean, I'm not very far. I guess I could try to, I really like this yarn. It's really enjoyable to work with. And I love this folded collar. I think this color looks really good on me. I'm excited. This one I'm really excited to have done. So this one will probably get the most work because I enjoy it. And it's the most simple sweater I have going. No mohair, single stranded, simple. So, and I actually don't know what this means in French, but this is in a tote bag I got from Suzanne a few years ago. Something good of Paris. I don't know what. Baissière? I don't know what that is. Bons Baissière? I should probably have looked that up before I showed it. I don't think it's anything bad. But I thought that was just, it's a very simple bag. It's a very simple project. So there we go, matching bags and projects. Okay. Whew. I just looked at the timer on there and I was like, 5 minutes? I've been talking for longer than that. The Amber Alert got me. Okay. That is all as far as knitting that I want to accomplish. That's a big goal. That's probably not going to all happen, but I figure if I set a big goal, then maybe I'll hit some of it and that'll be great. I might end up bringing some of it with me to Florida. The weather there is actually getting a little chilly, so that'll be nice. But I don't know how much time. I'll probably just have time on the plane. It kind of just depends on how we feel. If we feel like death warmed over, probably won't be doing a whole lot of park hopping. But the other thing I would like to do on this break, and that is for 2 reasons. So I would like to finish out a big spin that I started last year. This year. I started this year. I really like spinning. I have an e-spinner. Someday I have plans to get a big wheel, but for now I like my e-spinner. I have no intention of spindle spinning. That just seems tedious to me, and I am so happy for the people who love it. Great. I'm glad. I hope you enjoy it. I don't want to do it. I just want to use my little e-spinner. So last summer, not this previous summer, the one before, I had cataract surgery. I didn't have cataracts. I just had really, really bad vision. And it has been fantastic for my vision. So I went from around -12 in each eye to practically 20/20. But my near vision isn't great. And so now if it's closer than 18 inches, I have to have readers, or I don't have to have readers on, but I see better with readers. So spinning gets a little tricky for me because the distance that I'm looking at is just in that border zone of like 18 inches usually, or it's maybe a little beyond it, a little closer, depending on how close I'm sitting to my e-spinner. Or worse, it is what the fiber I'm feeding into the e-spinner is far enough away that I can see it fine, but what's closer I can't see very well. And so what really helps with that is when I spin in daylight, because additional light helps my eyes see those close-up things a little better. When it's dark, it's a gamble. I really can't see too well. So it's hard when I'm, especially in the winter, like the only time I'm home, it's dark. And so when I have a week off and I'm home during the day, I can do more. I'm also so close to being done with the spin. So close. So this, I'll show you, I have 3 bobbins and they are full. So this is the first one. I think this is the very first one I did. So this is it was an advent, but it was a Valentine's Day advent from Nest Fiber. And what's funny is when I first opened these, I'm thinking Valentine's Day, everything's gonna be pinks and reds and purples and whites. Nope. So I was actually really disappointed at first when I opened it, but then I started spinning it and I love it. So what I chose to do, I think this was my last one I just finished. And then, yeah, I can tell by how like loose they feel. So I've got 3 so far and I'm working on my 4th. What I did, because each day came, I think it was a 14-day advent, and each day you got a little bump of fiber. And so what I did was I split all of them into 4 vertically, wound them up into little nests, stuck them in 4 separate bags. And so I had equal parts of every fiber in there, but in a totally random order. I may deeply regret this decision, I don't know. But I basically just wound through the whole bag end to end. I mean, I would pick them out, like whichever one I felt like doing, I would do that one next. And I have about 1/3 of a bag left. Like I am that close to being done. And I have not felt like spinning for months. But I really want to get this done because plying, I actually enjoy plying. And I really enjoy the end product. I think I'm going to end up maybe with 4 skeins of yarn out of this. I don't know. I also don't know what my final thickness will be. I don't sample. I don't follow any of the rules you're supposed to follow. I kind of taught myself how to spin. I mean, I found some YouTube videos. The School of Sweet Georgia was super helpful. So I signed up for that for a while. But a lot of it was just trial and error, just figuring out what worked and what didn't. Which is probably, I don't think there's any, it's a craft. You can do it how you want. But I don't know any of the terminology, or I won't say any. I don't know a lot of the terminology, but I enjoy playing. That's where I was going. And I really want to see what this final product looks like. I mean, it's going to be marled as heck. I'm going to do 2-ply. And I think I'll have enough to make, maybe I can make the traveler shawl. It'll probably be a DK weight just because I'm not good at spinning super fine. I'm impressed with people who are, but like, I don't know what happens is I'll go through spells where I'm like spinning every single day and I start getting good at it and then I get bored of it and I don't do it for months and then I come back and I'm bad at it again. So I should probably do that 15 minutes of spinning challenge that Andrea Mallory's doing. I don't know, but it's kind of also like the setup for it is a little, like right now I've got my spinner tucked away in a cabinet, but if I wanted to get it out and actually spin on it, I would have to like move a chair, set it up on the chair, make sure it's at the right height, and it's just a lot of work. So I'll do it this week. Maybe I'll probably start it on like Monday or Tuesday. Probably Tuesday. We'll see. It would be a good break from like cuff knitting. So there's that. But that is the last whip. If I can get that yarn like washed and drying by the time I leave for Florida, that would be awesome. I'd be absolutely thrilled with that. So those are my goals for the end of the year. We'll see. I'm not obviously holding myself to them. They're goals. They're not ultimatums. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do. So, okay. I actually have one acquisition, but I can't show it because I opened it early. So I signed up for the sock club from La Mercerie, and you get a sock set every month for 12 months. And I knew I was gonna have to pay in December. When I did, I'd have to make my first payment in December for that. I thought it was coming in January. It got here this week. And without even thinking about it, I opened it and then it was like, your yarn for January. Like, dang it. Okay. Oh well. It's beautiful. I love it. But I won't show it because I don't want to ruin the surprise for somebody else who has more willpower than me. But that was my only acquisition, but I do have my advents. So these are not advents that anybody, like, these are not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to spoil anyone's advent because these are unique to me. So the first one is, and these are in no order because I stopped keeping order a while back. So the first one is from advent swap that I did with Bax, and I'm gonna, oh, that one came undone. Shoot, yeah, I don't remember where we were last time I showed these, but again, and I will reiterate this, every single yarn I've gotten from her has been so soft, like ridiculously soft, and I love it. So this is one I got this week. I love that little streak of blue. That's so pretty. I really hope you can see that. There we go. So there's that one. This one, I think I just unraveled this one. Oops. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to redo this one. But it's like a blue and a green. So pretty. So pretty. And then kind of sticking in that same theme. This one I think I opened today. Love that. Love that. I think that, yeah, these almost look like they're opposites. Sorry, the sun decided to come out and it was blinding me. Okay, then let's do this one. This one is super pretty. Like this lilac color. Love it. Then we got this one, which is probably going to be a micro striper. Super pretty. This one. This was another one of those that fooled me when I opened it early in the morning. And then I came back from work and it was lighter in my house and I could see that it was actually kind of variegated. And then this one, just like a denim-y blue. Super pretty. Love that. And then I got some little stitch markers. They're just super cute. I had to show them. So this one is a little Santa Claus. And then I have a little mitten. And then a little Christmas tree. I hope those are actually showing, but yeah, it's super cute. Love it, love it. And then this is, I don't remember what I'd shown last time. Wow, that sun is bright. Okay, clouds, you can come back anytime now. Yeah, you can see my my setup here with my phone. Okay, let's see if we can get these blinds to work a little better. No, we're gonna be streaky. Oh, clouds. Okay, let me. That's gonna make it real dark in here, but better than blinding. Okay, so I have no idea where I was last time. I think I'd just done this one. This is maple. This is the sweet fiber. Oh, I've forgotten how much I love sweet fiber. Like, I'm gonna have to buy some sweet fiber once I'm not paying off student loans anymore. Okay, I'm pretty sure this was one from last year from Stacy from Stress Knits. Her Advent. This one was one for hers as well. This is really pretty blush pink. And then, let's see how many, let's see. This one was I think a woolly mammoth. Yeah, it was a woolly mammoth. This is the Hearth DK. I don't know what this colorway is, but it's so pretty. Let's see. We have, this is Blush by Sweet Fiber. Super pretty. Okay, and these last two are my fave so far. So this was, I think this was also from Stress Knits last year. This awesome limey green. And then this last one, I think was hers as well. So I have, let's see, today's the 23rd. So I've got one more mini for both of these. And then I think I've got 2 minis for the one I made myself. I didn't give myself a full skein. I just gave myself minis. But with the one with Bex, I have another mini and then I have a full skein. So I'll have that to open on Christmas and that'll be fun. Okay, I think that's all I have today. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do an after Christmas episode. I'm gonna be home, so I might do it, but I might not. I may just not. I am gonna do in January, I'm gonna kind of do a recap episode of like the sweaters I knit. I'm not gonna do an everything I knit unless you guys want me to. In that case, I'd probably break it up and do accessories for one episode and sweaters for another. But I'll go I did this last year and I went through all the sweaters I knit the previous year and I found it really fun just to kind of go through and look at everything I made and kind of do the pros, cons, what I liked, what I didn't. I may also do an episode about my plans for 2024. What was funny is I was thinking back about this and I think every plan I had made for 2023 I didn't do. I was gonna knit brioche, still haven't done it. I was going, sorry, that sun, it is, wow, it's bright. Okay, oof. It feels like the sun is interrogating me. I'm trying to get my face in a spot where there's no sun. Anyway, so yeah, I was going to do brioche, haven't done brioche. I was going to knit with unspun, haven't knit with unspun. I think one of my plans was to knit an entire, I don't think I voiced this one, but was to spin a sweater's quantity of yarn and knit a sweater out of it. Haven't done that. What other goals do I have? That was probably, I think I did knit a cardigan. So there's that. I don't ever wear it because I don't love it. It just doesn't fit right. So one of my goals, I will say, for next year is to knit 12 socks. So knit 1 sock a month, not 1 sock, but 1 pair of socks a month for the whole year. I guess when I do the episode, I'll also show you my sock drawer. So I have a drawer on the top of the dresser where a lot of my yarn lives, or yarn scraps live. And the top drawer is about half full of socks at this point that I've knit, and I would love to fill it up entirely. So I have lots of options because apparently this winter is going to be quite chilly. At least that's what the forecast. So far it hasn't shown that. But I think after Christmas we're supposed to kind of take a nosedive into the cooler temps, which I'm all here for. I can just snuggle up in all my woolies and enjoy a day or a week off. So yeah, I probably won't be back here next week, but I will be back at some point in the new year. not the first week. I will definitely be sharing pictures of the Dopey Challenge at Disney World. I'll be showing those on my Instagram, so I'll definitely stay in touch with you guys that way. And I just want to say thank you, because you guys have been so encouraging. Anytime I talk about running, I always leave, or I always afterward feel very encouraged by you guys. So thank you for that. It has definitely been a wild ride. And I am ready to be on the other side. I'm ready to get back to just like short runs more frequently instead of doing long runs on the weekend. But I will definitely keep running. I have a plan to do a half marathon in April. So, yeah. But I will see you guys back in the new year. I hope you have a great holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a great Christmas. I hope you have a good new year. I hope you have lots of time for knitting and for friends and family and relaxing. I hope you get to go into the new year feeling refreshed and recharged and ready for a new year. Oh, I actually forgot about this. So I am, fingers crossed, everything going to plan. Next week, I will be making my final student loan payment. So excited about that. It kind of makes me want to vomit a little bit, but in a good way, I guess. So next time I come back, I will be debt-free, and I will be celebrating that for sure. So, yeah. So I hope you guys have lots of good things to look forward to next year. And I will see you then. Bye.